Smoke cuts across Parker's face, harsh sideways from the musket line. He roots his grip deeper on the flintlock, knuckles pale. The noise is everywhere, ramrods rapping metal, men barking orders and replies, boots trampling the cold brown muck. March sun stays shy, scuffed by empty trees, can't warm the ground. Parker just sticks in the center of the North Carolina militia, firelock stiff in bitter hands. Someone barks down the line and he tilts up, eyes locked on British shapes flickering in the woods. Red coats, buttons shining, white edges clear, even through the haze. British soldiers across the broken field, rebuilding their line, steady, slow, practiced, kneeling, loading, nodding to the drummer on a low hill. A fellow militia on Parker's right wipes his nose, then lines up his shot, waiting like the rest. Smoke stays floating thin above the ground, stings the eyes even as it thins in the cold sun. Hooves drum behind Greene's men, splattered boots flashing signals to other officers, not bothering to pause. Ensign nearby, shouting clear. Parker looks quick, men stacking deeper behind him. Blue coats, white crossbelts. The Continentals. Exhale. British shapes moving up again, and Parker feels the field shake with their boots, even through mud. Split second gunfire from across the field. British skirmishers snapping shots at militia lines. Bark blows off a tree close, left side. Parker ducks first, habits, instincts, then straightens and checks his musket. Ready, aim, fire, cracks from the right. Pull the trigger, flint sparks, flash in the pan, weapon kicks hard back. Shotguns the air with rotten smoke. Men around Parker are already back at it, reloading, his hands fumbling powder, black dust gritty, boom of shots echoing. Reloading stutters, chaos getting louder. Someone yells, then goes down hard, a sound swallowed by the stomp of boots and another volley. British keep coming, line swelling, officer's sword flashing orders above the heads. Hold, comes the word, fast, cold, militia fires, scattered, smoke and torn paper in the air. British squat, aim, and answer with a roar. Parker doesn't hear the hits, ears ringing, can only see two men pitching sideways, hats rolling, muskets gone, order to pull back comes sharp. The line strings loose and men start drifting for the woods. Parker's feet freeze for a second, then he moves, not finished reloading, fingers unreliable on the lock. Continentals plug the hole, coiled tight, sergeants' voices snapping edges onto the line. Blue bayonets glinting. Parker eyes them as he backs into trees. Gap in pressure, and then it's woods, roots, and dead leaves. Stumbles, gets steadied by a sapling, hacks up a dry swallow. Dirt and rank powder in the nose. Fire snaps closer. Smoke hangs. Men speaking in darts and whispers. Pointed arms, heads turning at hoofbeats. Some bite down hard on their muskets. Others stare silent at the rutted road. Parker finds a log, kneels by it, checks the pan, powder caked, damped by cold. The hammer snags. He pinches it loose, working fingers once, twice. Sergeant's shout rings through the trees, orders to rally. Time slips out, slow. He waits, feeling it build, musketry rolling in waves, field shaking where boots dig in, and horse lines twist ground into rutted scars. Parker shuffles in with the new group, waits for spacing, legs singing with ache. British flashes through tree gaps, sunlight knifing off bayonets, drums clashing from both sides. Loose men get called closer. Officer points flat with a battered sword. Virginia regulars wedge forward, commander raw-throated from barking. Parker hears rejoin what's left, reload, and goes dodging thorns and broken bags, stepping by a ruined firelock twisted at the base of roots. Not cold now, not in the chaos. Sweat soaks everything. Cuffs frayed, mud up to the knees. Lines are reformed in a hurry. Officers point out targets. Leaning pine, bent fence, water channel. Parker sets up next to wild fence rail. Mud pressed cold against him. Heels sunk. Looks out, just sees the open field. British pressing in, cavalry slipping fast across the edge. Orders cough down the line, gutted by musket fire. Load and prime, automatic now. Everything smashes loose. Another rush, smoke weaving up in the trees. Order out, forward. Parker steps out, going with the line toward the blows, musket cocked up, this time even dirtier. Firing crouched, shot smashing trees and wood. Some man grabs him, yanks him down, hits mud, props himself, bark splinters raining down as another ball flattens the fence. The line cracks right. Some refuse to move, mess up the pivot. Parker stands, pushes up with those still hanging in, faces wrecked with sweat and grime, spent cartridges by his boots, slips on a musket ball. Birds fly out, wild and jittered from the brush. British are close now, tighter, red wall rippling, bayonets bristle. The formations pull inward, reacting to depth ahead. Another volley kicks, less smoke. Fewer Americans stand in the line by now. Parker moves where they order, left, then back, not stopping. An officer in shredded uniform yells charge. A handful stumble out, smash the brush, break back as the line slips. Parker stays down behind the fence, checking spark and powder. Sun climbs, brighter, not warm. Cannon now, grape ripping through, chewing brush. Sergeant grabs him, shoves him in with a retreat. Trees ahead. Cartridge heaps, torn packs, capes, lost hats mark the route. Every time they huddle, some officer pushes them on by sheer volume. British out of sight for a few beats. Men slow, ducked by fallen trunks. One wraps a bleeding hand in shirt tail. Another just checks blank faces. Parker loses a ball, picks it out of the dirt, wipes and rams it. Less shaky, tired now, but steady. Cold smoke in his breath. Pause. Gunfire stops. Parker tugs the cap down. Hears a sharp order behind. Get ready to move. Air thick, burnt, still cool. Horsemen flash past. Fast words. Parker stands, brush clinging on. Sergeant counts heads. Logs them quick and dirty. Who's standing, who's gone? Word drops. This is the line. British will wear down on the Continentals. Parker isn't pushed up again. Packed tight with worn men. Flinch every time shots crack out. Wagons lurk in the trees. Wheels sunk. Medics pounding through. Faces grim. Water in battered tin. Parker drinks, wipes sweat away. Waits. Officers on foot or horseback patrol through, yelling for order. Rumors flying about the British rolling a flank. The rear lines twitch with nerves. Parker stands, shifts his piece, kneels, goes up again. No peace, no rest. Distant fight breaks out, muffled where he is. Wagon line builds, wounded in some, ammo in others. Parker has tossed cartridges, passes them with powder black hands. Afternoon, sharp smell of gunfire, beaten back by sweat and mule earth. British officers' shouts slip faint on the wind. Redcoats draw back in clots, sunlight on their backs. American officers pass, Morgan among them, voice clipped. Nearby, a cheer dies as fast as it started. No order to move. Now it's just waiting. Men kneel, stand, patch straps, rub raw wrists. Water shared in battered canteens. Parker adjusts a strap, feels the ache in his legs and knees gone wet from muck. Not as many men now, gap from sunrise to now. After a stretch, musket cracks on and off. Parker called up to the line again. Nobody says anything. Just faces. Who's here? Who's missing? Postures shot with weariness. Officers keep moving, scribble notes, send riders off. The British finally start a slow pullback. Formation sloppy in the sun. Americans watching at forest's edge. Crows sweep down to the field. Scraps, gear, bodies, nobody moving to stop them. Parker sees the redcoats leaving, stays put. He leans on the musket, steadies himself, checks powder. Last order comes. They fall back toward the road. Done for now. Parker straightens up, swings out long steps into daylight, joins what line remains, turning his face away from the ruined ground behind.